cluster.
Now, what you got to do, though, is get the clean rectal area beforehand.
I got to do that in July.
Yes, right.
My last one, I hope.
Really working.
My last one ever.
Really? Then you're going to say the hell with it.
If I don't have it by now, the hell with you. You had your chance.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, cancer, you had your chance.
You had your chance.
You know, if you get pancreatic at my age, you know, they just say good luck.
See you later.
They don't even bother with
Well,
it.
there ain't no test for that.
No.
Oh, God.
Well, they do the what, PSA or whatever it is.
So you're talking, you said,
Pancreatic.
You said pancreas.
Oh, pancreatic. Go jump off the bridge.
Yeah.
You know. That's easy. Mendota Bridge, here I come. Let's go. How long do you think it takes from there to the river?
you know what, Pat? I don't know.
5 seconds max?
Not 10.
10.
Not 10 max.
10 max.
2, 3, splat.
That's right.
I'm going to
It's
go
a lot
10.
of time to rethink things, isn't it? You better turn my mic off, Chris.
Okay, see you, Ken.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All righty. See you later.
You know who won the United States Women's Open?
A woman named Stark, right? Who is she?
Maja Stark.
Where's
She's
she
25.
Where's she from?
She's a big Swede.
Is she? Okay.
Oklahoma State.
All right.
And I started watching that last night, and she wasn't going to be defeated. Nobody could catch her. She only won by 2 shots.
I never had heard of her until she won this
But
time.
what an athlete.
Is it? Is she big girl?
Big girl, a very attractive
Hits it a long place.
girl, and hits it a mile.
I
and
did watch about 15 minutes of it because I had heard how fast they had the greens, and I guess it was unbelievable, huh? Because
Yes.
they tore it up for 2 days.
It was at Erin Hills.
Yeah, they tore it up for 2 days, and then Saturday they said, okay, and they zipped them up, and the ball was going, you know, people were trying to make a 10-foot putt, and the next putt was from 50 feet off the green. I guess they
Did you
really
only have a
had 'em goosed
4-page
up.
sports section
Oh,
today?
yes, it was all. You should have saw our Sunday. 6 pages, 1.5 of those were ads. It's
Well, wait a minute. I must have read about her in the St. Paul paper. Do you
Probably
even have?
did.
Oh yeah, you have.
Top
You have a few.
10.
You have a few finishers
We
in the
now-
women's, a
we-
few finishers in the PGA.
we now have settled for the top 10 in all golf tournaments. And
God almighty.
We treat the champions, which are the old guys who nobody cares about, the same as we treat the U.S. Women's Open.
Yep.
It's not great right now, space-wise, and their concern over the paper edition is not real great right now. I don't feel so. Anyway, but I don't even get the in-house emails because I'm not an employee, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but you have a contract.
I do have a contract. Unfortunately, I have a contract, which means I might have to be in Mankato tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock to watch the young lady, the 6'4" young lady, pitch for Champlain Park.
Marissa Rothenberger,
Rothenberger.
who was Charlie Dean Rothenberger until age 9. My solution to
9.
this is you got to be 18 to do everything else in this country. Why not? If you want to be Marissa, you got to wait till you're 18.
Or you can become 18, but then you probably, I don't know.
How are you going to write this?
I made a
I don't want you to do this.
I made a 180-degree turn on that issue because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And it's really, numerically, it's not. But
It's showing up
when
a
the
lot.
6'4" swimmer from Penn State was beating everybody in the, the Thomas or whatever his name was beating everybody in the NCAA, I just said, this isn't going to work. And by the way, it's not a major reason, but it's another reason that Trump is now your president of the United States.
Okay, can I ask you something
Yes.
then? Why is there a Title IX now? You don't need it. What's the point of it? What is the point of Title IX if you aren't going to protect women's sports?
And that is why Trump got elected.
Yes, it is. Well, Title
We
IX
both grew up at the height of the Title
but Title
IX.
IX is good because guys like Mark Coyle would just can women's sports if he wanted to put more money into PJ's football program. That's they have to be the women have to be defended in some way. Maybe it shouldn't be. I think we've all agreed on this. Just don't count football. That's the moneymaker, and then everything else is fine. But
how are you going to Are you going to cover Marissa?
I don't know. They're having a meeting that I'm not attending, and we'll see.
Well, here's what I want you to do.
We'll see. Yes,
just cover it like you're covering a regular softball game.
That's it, and I will.
You mean don't even mention her?
Just say
10 a.m. Yeah, it's not exactly like I've been following them all around. I tried to call the softball coach from Mankato East.
Oh, yeah.
Joe, whatever his name
Yep.
is.
Great guy.
Never called me back. I'm afraid. I'm thinking he thought I might have been asking about Marissa or something.
probably.
I guarantee you.
Or he
Probably.
didn't get the message, huh? Even though he's in a different classification.
Yeah, they're in 3A.
But I wanted to talk. The Gopher softball used to have a good program. They went to the College World Series in 18, 19. They had good teams. This year they were 17th in the Big Ten, and they got this coach Piper Ritter, who's actually pretty much taken the program in the tank. And one of her pitchers is recruited as a kid at Mankato East.
In fact, Kylan Stengel, Joe, to the point where young Miss Stengel had her graduation party over the weekend.
You were there?
Not only was I there, she had to transport me and her father to the local watering hole.
Oh, really?
From the local.
Is she a relative or what?
Her dad is one of my best friends.
Okay,
She's
all
a great kid.
Well, who
And
does
I
she
was
pitch
gonna-
for?
East, Mankato
And she's
East.
going to the U?
Yes.
I was going to write something about they need pitching, and they have two pitchers coming in, her and then a kid from Randall.
Yep.
Who are, that's your softball, Joe, is pitching. It's just, if you have a pitcher, they pitch all the time. And that's why this oversized, tall pitcher from Champlain Park is.
Well, they should win the tournament.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're playing, but the state high school league is in a mess, and they don't know what the hell to do about it, I'm sure.
Pat, I can help you out to get connected with, because I guarantee that's probably why he thought you called.
Yes.
Was to get a quote about.
Well, plus I think I was sending something to his voicemail at the school, which is probably out. So now, is Mankato East the place where they're taking the softball field away?
No,
That's
in fact,
front, or is that west?
I just drove by yesterday because Leland had a game at 9 a.m. to go. The new fields at East are stunning. They're amazing. West is the one that's losing the
So
fields.
Mankato
You're playing at
West.
Caswell Park.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a great complex up on the hill. But they played it. I thought they were moving it up here, but
That I'm not sure.
They're not this year. But
Because the
Joe,
championship game, Pat, I
Joe.
believe, is at the U.
Mankato West, the entry, the big lawn to greet you to the school, the old school, was the softball field. And it's famous, it's notorious. And now they decide they got to have more room for the buses that are coming in, so they're dumping it, and they're going to have to go up to Coswell, I guess, and play.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. There's got to be somebody. There's got to be somebody more with it than me to write that column.
I think you're the perfect person to write it.
No, I don't. I think you should say, look, we send somebody younger.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody more.
But wait a minute.
And if you send somebody younger, your options are everybody.
Yeah.
But wait a
Well,
minute.
we're going to have 3 or 4 people down there.
Where
I'm
does
sure.
your sensibility lie, Mr. Mayor?
On
You
what?
are the one that says, "Hey, we want to cover the story. We don't want to hide from it."
I couldn't cover it because I couldn't. I wouldn't be honest. I'd have to say this is ridiculous. I'd have to say this is ridiculous.
And there's 2 options for me: that, or just write the reaction of people who are watching it. And you can't monitor. What you can't censor is the fans from the other team yelling and doing, and other people, because let's face it, this is at least 80% unpopular. You're going against the grain.
I'm surprised it's that low.
No, I'm saying at least.
Yeah.
I think it's probably 90%. It's a loser it's a loser for lefties, that's for sure.
Okay, I got another. One of my solutions is 18. That's it.
Okay.
Nothing before then.
Well,
I have another solution.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think they can make the decision, but they can't participate. In,
Do you think this kid can throw a baseball?
I have no idea. It's a completely different animal.
I heard from a source that one of the reasons this person decided to play softball was because they were not very good at baseball.
Okay, because here was
let me finish. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. And the other portion of that, Joe, is that person years ago was very, very below average as a fast pitch softballer, but then hit a growth spurt and became the phenom that they are now.
But is he? Has anybody beaten them this year? Do we know?
Yeah, they have 2 losses. They're 21-2.
Okay.
But did that pitcher lose one of those 2 games?
I don't know, but here was my question.
Talk to me.
There's nothing to prevent a girl from trying out for a baseball team. Am I correct?
No, in fact, I know 2 girls playing varsity baseball and I'm not going to name which towns, but I know 2 girls personally that are playing
there's
baseball.
Nothing, but it's
why wouldn't you name the towns? That's
It's a
fantastic.
completely different animal. We have girls in the state wrestling tournament with the
yes,
boys.
you have
But
wrestling.
they're 110 pounds. You know?
Now,
Some of the
football-
smaller communities for hockey that don't have a girls program, the girls will play hockey
Okay,
for the boys
then
team.
why not? Then forget this BS. You either try out for a boys team if you want to play a sport. Or you're a girl if you want to play on the girls team.
Yeah, it's
I agree.
as I say, it's a loser. It's a loser for the lefties, and they don't know what.
Is that a
do
story
about it.
that would have the comments shut off on the online?
Oh, there is no chance.
I don't think
in
you have
green.
comments anymore in your paper on the online.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we do.
We do?
We do,
St.
but-
Paul doesn't anymore.
They
Really?
just gave it up.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been any for a year.
Really, they probably, I don't know. I heard this rumor. I probably shouldn't be spreading it around, but it'll hit the news that they announced some buyouts at our place today.
Really?
Yeah, for veteran newsroom people. So.
Well, you couldn't take advantage because you're an independent contractor.
Yes, I could not take advantage
With a contract.
And-
With a contract.
With a contract, and which
You even went to a building probably to get it.
which expires December 31st, and
Well, that just leads to negotiations.
negotiations with a place that is offering buyouts.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they want less bodies walking around. We have a new editor. She
St. Paul kid.
Creighton Durham
Yeah,
kid.
yeah,
Hennessy,
yeah. Hennessy.
Irish girl.
I know her family.
She worked at the Times.
Yeah.
I haven't met her yet, but then I didn't meet her predecessor, Suki, and she was there 20 years. I did. So Suki we might have said, hey, walking down the hallway.
Tell
one.
Hennessy to bring back TV and stock tables.
Okay, I'm gonna go in there and put
So,
my foot. You
what
know
hap-
the family?
Sure.
Well, you don't know the family, but Jennifer knows the family.
Well, the
'cause she
kids
knows
went to school with her.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So Pat,
I
you
guess
did.
she's very involved already. She's
I don't know.
Really?
Okay.
I was going to say. So you didn't do. Is it Saki? Was that the outgoing editor? Is that the name?
Suki.
Suki. I'm sorry. So you didn't do what Joe did today when we had a retirement party down in the cafeteria for a young lady, and she said, "Oh my God, Joe Souchery showed up."
Oh, I love Doris.
Doris is the best. Doris is the
yeah,
best
Doris is good.
Now, see, there is a contract. I have a contract
because of Doris.
because of Doris.
Doris is a veteran too, isn't
No,
she?
she's retiring.
Yeah, but
Oh,
been
she's
here
the
a long
best.
time.
She's the best. But she was absolutely thrilled that the mayor stopped down to say hi.
Why wouldn't I?
Of
It's
course,
Doris.
it's Doris.
yes. unlike
A lot of people you ask me about, maybe I don't know who they are.
but you can't can't be expected to keep up with a rookie who knows everybody
Thank you,
in the
Patrick.
building.
And
Thank you.
the names of their spouses.
Yes, right. I mean, he was your personal
Greeter.
greeter.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
That's how I use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is awful. This is just.
I don't.
I
would.
hate
You know what I would do if I were you? I'd say I'm not covering
I'm
this.
ill.
No, I'm not covering it. The hell with you. I'm not covering it.
Yeah, that's.
Put your foot down.
Okay, all right. Yeah, or go down there and write about something else. Write
Okay.
about Stengel.
There you go.
Yeah.
You should write about Kylan. She's awesome.
That's right.
And she's about to be a 3 back-to-back state champion. This could be their third in a row.
And does she play other sports?
She is a basketball player, and I know she used to play volleyball, but I do not think she plays volleyball anymore.
She's summer softball.
Oh, yeah.
through
It's
the
travel
years and
all
stuff.
summer for
Now,
sure.
there's where a trans volleyball player could do some damage just injury-wise.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Now, that was, I saw one of the thing Emmer we retweeted from this Outkick or whatever. What's Outkick?
Outkick. It's a website, but yeah, it's a sports publication website.
They were, somebody was saying they're very worried that he's going to hit a line drive and kill. It's just a matter of time before somebody gets killed and that stuff. It's not like every college in the country would be trying to recruit.
But wait,
her.
now that's a good question. Is this kid a good hitter, I wonder? This Marissa?
That I don't know. I guess I didn't see the stats for young Marissa.
I don't know. It's I have a real time with the. I know damn well I'd have a real time. I'd mistype and write her, not write her, and get in big trouble. I think the way to go is the athlete.
The way to go
No.
is to put your foot down.
Even better to stir everybody up. Call it.
No, geez, don't say that.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
No. I guess our guy Jim Paulson has talked to the parents and reasonable people, and he's one of our prep guys, and he's the Wayne Wangstead of prep guys. He'll your entire family could get killed in a car accident, and he'd call up and say, "What's your reaction to the wanger?"
Why doesn't he cover it?
The wanger?
No.
Oh, Paulson will be there. He'll be there.
Well, have him cover the game.
Well, they're going to have about 8 people covering the game.
Well, then you don't need to be there at all.
They maybe don't need a sports columnist. That's
Is this happening at a meeting that you're not
The
attending?
meeting at 1:30. But my view of it has been expressed that there's got to be better options than me.
And you could find those viewpoints on Blue Sky.
Yeah, that's right. You and at least 50 other people can find them. That Blue Sky is, boy, is it boring. It's,
You got to come back.
I'm not coming back. But you can't stir them up because they don't know what the hell you're doing.
Right.
Have you looked at the baseball box scores this year?
Yes.
How about for yesterday? Baseball teams are really drawing.
A lot of places.
Holy
not
mackerel.
not
New York and Colorado, 45,000.
Colorado.
Chicago and Cincinnati, 40,000. Milwaukee and Philadelphia, 44,000.
Philadelphia is going to draw 3.5. Milwaukee, I think, swept them though, didn't they? They went in and
I
beat them
didn't. I
3 times.
wasn't able to watch a ton of baseball this weekend.
So,
But Joe, I told you the other
New
weekend.
York and the Dodgers, 54,000.
Yes.
Ooh. Why didn't you go out for that one, Pat? You said that years ago when those two teams played in the regular
Boston
season.
and Atlanta, 38,000. San Francisco and Miami, it must have been in Miami,
yes.
13,000.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
That's and the it's not Seattle's a pretty good club.
Yeah, they are.
Baltimore and Chicago, 33,000. Cleveland and must have been the Angels, 26,000.
You know who's good this year for baseball? Cubbies. Cubbies are good. They're
I
gonna
was
run
just
away-
about to
run
say,
away with that division.
Memorial Day weekend, I was going to possibly do a road trip with the boys to knock off the Reds ballpark. And I reached out to my guy. He said, we're playing the Cubs. You ain't getting any.
Reds. Okay.
You ain't getting any tickets for this
Cubbies are in
weekend.
first place with a 4-game lead over the Cardinals.
Yes, and they're good. They're
You know who's not good, Joe? The 9-50 Colorado Rockies.
They won yesterday.
no, they
It's
didn't.
June 2nd.
They lost
No,
yesterday.
they have
What am I
lost
looking at?
8 in a row.
Oh, I was looking at Arizona. Same thing.
The Mighty Whiteys. The Mighty Whiteys of last season, on their way to the most losses in baseball history, were 15-44 at this time.
Wow.
These guys are 9-50. It is impossible to be 9-50. I think the Cleveland's this goes back to 1901 the most. They call that modern baseball. But the Cleveland Spiders, if I'm not mistaken, won 13 one year, which is the You look up the
I will.
Cleveland
If
Spiders.
Colorado wins a game, they don't go through that jumping up and down, do they, and dumping water on anybody?
I don't
Not
think-
unless it's
They
a
better
walk-off,
not.
maybe.
They better not.
No.
I remember one year when the Twins were rotten.
Celebrated when they didn't lose 100.
Yeah.
And Joe
Do they
had
put on the
8.
funny hat if somebody hits a home run?
Yeah, I think that's really.
That was one of your all-time greatest tirades when the Twins avoided their 100th loss.
couldn't take it.
And you
I couldn't
went
take it.
They
insane.
jumped around like it meant
I
something.
think they actually accomplished something.
The Rockies' run differential, Patrick, is negative 185,
That's
and it's
unbelievable.
June 2nd.
Unbelievable. That's night. That is so. This is the first game of the second. No. 54. So this is 5 games into the second third of the season, and they're a plus. They could be a plus 400 easy when the year's over.
Negative 400.
Negative.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. How did this happen?
Who am I looking up? You said the Spiders. What year?
Just look up Cleveland Spiders,
Okay.
all-time worst,
A
1898.
name they
or
should
something.
have
That's what I wanted.
reused.
Yes.
What a wonderful logo that
Yeah.
would be for
Yeah.
the. They're gonna come back and they're gonna say, we're gonna rehab the Spiders. We're gonna wipe out all the Spiders' lousy.
What franchise is that currently? The Spiders.
I think it was the
Get
same
rid
team.
of your acrophobia.
Yes,
There
something
you go.
like it.
Arachnophobia.
There it is.
Yep. The 1899 Cleveland Spiders had their worst record, finishing with a 20-134 record.
Okay, yeah. That's, I believe.
Well, were the
I
Mets
think
ever
that-
even came close to
I
being
think
that?
2 years later they became the Indians.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
A
The
winning.
Mets ever come close to being that bad?
Well, it's the
40
Metsometer.
and 120.
40.
40
Yes, that's
and
what we had the
1.
Metsometer.
Yeah.
The reason the Whiteys beat them last year is the Mets had 2 rainouts, and you weren't as paranoid, so they were 40 and 120, but 122 last year the Whiteys lost.
That's when we did this one, Joe. Remember
That's
that?
right.
Meet the Mets.
Meet the Mets.
I do think the original Mets is one of the great stories of my lifetime.
Oh, yes.
Because
Absolutely.
the ineptitude became celebrated. the famous one where Marv Thornberry hit a triple, but he got called out for missing first, and Casey, I think, said, don't worry
missed
about it. He
second, too."
missed second, too. Marvelous Marv Thornberry.
Can't anybody here play this
Jimmy
game?
Breslin's book, man. But New York just celebrated the return of the National League, and the New York Post and the Daily News. They were all over the Mets. The Yankees. That was the year that Maris and Mantle, Maris set the home run record and Mantle hit 50-some. And they gave the Mets more pub than the 62 was the year because they didn't have a team in 61. The National League expansion came 62. The Yankees home run guys were 61. I'm wrong. 61 and 54, those 2 guys did. So. Unbelievable. But it was hilarious. I wasn't in. I can't remember.
Didn't they have Nolan Ryan as a kid, too?
Yeah, but that was
They were better then.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that was mid '60s.
Oh, okay,
He was
okay.
on the '69
Team that won the World Series.
He was in the bullpen for the '69.
Wow.
I think.
I was showing a young man in my home the stats for Nolan Ryan. He said, "Dad, he's your age," meaning at the very end of his career.
But the Mets had one of they came with the great logo too, just a baseball with a goofy face on it. It was just is that still they're probably
Oh yeah, Mr. Met.
They still have Mr.
In fact,
Met?
because Kenny had made it his profile picture. It's somebody caught Mr. Met behind the scenes giving some kid the finger.
Oh, really?
And Kenny made that his profile picture for a while. I think it was Kenny. It might have been somebody else.
Oh man!
Did you read, or where did I hear that they're going to build a stadium that looks like the Polo Grounds? For what?
Why would it? For what purpose?
It can't be the Mets. They just opened a new field.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking about.
Here, let me look it up
Some
then.
minor league team out there or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, the team that plays in the Low Miners, the New York Penn or something, or maybe they're an independent team. They got the great ballpark on the water in Brooklyn, I think, or near somewhere there.
All right, Scheffler wins again.
Unbelievable. What is? First of all, why are the scores so low? What did Jack do to make that course that tough? Because
they love their trees, they love the rough.
I know, but Lehman 25 years ago won with 67, 67, 67, 67, 20 under. Jack was very offended, but they were tearing that place up, and all of a sudden, the last 5 years, it's 9. What he went? Did he get to 11?
Well, in your abbreviated standings here, he finished 199. No, that's the chair. That's the old guys. He finished 278. 278.
Can't be 270.
He went 70, 70, 68, 70.
Okay, so does he 71 must be par there then.
72 is par.
Okay, so then he's
1, 2, 3,
so
4.
10 under. 10 under.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 under.
10 under, and he won it by
2 shots.
Well, the other guy went in the tank at the end. He won by 5, I think.
Oh, he won by 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah, he won by 4. Over Ben
Griffin, who let it get away from him at the end last week. But I just can't figure out why it's tough. And by the way, I have a hard time watching the memorial with the sound on because of the constant fawning over Jack. Okay, why don't Nance just give him a big kiss and shut up?
They did the same thing with Arnie.
I know, but Arnie's a good guy. This guy's a jackass. But
he's different.
He's egomaniacal, and his barber okay now? She wasn't around.
Hard to tell by looking at her. No, she was there yesterday.
She was,
sitting on the 18th green.
Okay,
waiting for the winner.
They say if you want to get along with Jack, you better bow down to a barber too.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the fawning is just incredible.
But that's part of golf. Has way too much fawning.
They do have fawning too much, and Nance is a world-class fawner.
He can fawn.
He's a great fawner.
Joe, I'm seeing that
he must be able to play too. Huh?
Yeah,
Nance. Well, he played in college.
Yeah, he also Houston
with Freddie Couples as his roommate.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
He also has a house next to Charles Schwab on Pebble Beach
with its own putting green
within the property.
Yeah,
wow,
he's done well.
Yeah.
Why did they ever take your play-by-play magic?
How come? Wait a minute. Nance is on Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah, right.
We're here.
Well, if you weren't a 12-time, if I wasn't a 3 or 4-time third-place finisher in the 3-man race for the Hall of Fame in baseball.
And you've got 95 second place
Marconis.
And you were Mr. Met of the Marconis. Mr. Met, number 2 in New York, number 2 in the Marconis. Maybe we'd be on at least Indian Hills or something.
Why didn't CBS pick us up?
I don't know.
ABC or somebody.
All right, yeah, because probably one of us would say, "Okay, Jack, shut up. That's enough." That probably wouldn't work.
Who hired these two guys?
Here's Jack.
Who's the new guy?
Here's Jack again.
Yeah.
Or Joe would say, "Well, I guess we got to show Jack again."
Yeah, and then the sponsor then comes on and talks about how Jack's the greatest guy that ever lived for 5 minutes.
Joe, I'm seeing a story that said that MLB had announced a plan to break ground in Pelham Bay to build a to-scale replica of the Polo Grounds, but
it is.
I can't find the actual story. This is on just a Facebook post. That's what I'm trying to find.
I don't know. What's Pelham Beach? I don't even know that.
Pelham Bay. I can look that up, too.
That's not now. Yeah.
Now, there's not a word in here about the memorial, is there?
I think we got a paragraph. Scott Scheffler.
Here it is.
Yeah, that's it. We used to, what is it, the lead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the lead under briefly.
Yeah, 5 graphs maybe, if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, We don't
Oh,
have.
here you were talking about Nicholas's ego. That's why I was trying to find this. I knew I read this earlier. Scheffler, the only player to break par all 4 days at Muirfield Village, had won 3 of his past 4. After this one, tournament host Jack Nicklaus stood by his side. He reminds me so much of the way I like to play, Nicklaus said.
Not anymore, Jack. You know, Jack, it wasn't that, what was it, 6, 7 years ago? He was out here. They had him out here playing an exhibition with Trevino and
I'm sure he can still
Arnie.
play well.
Yeah, I'm sure he can hit it, but God almighty, the fawning is just ridiculous. So what, have we talked since our boys were dismissed in the playoffs, right?
No, we
No,
have
because that would have been what? Because we tried to connect Friday,
tried
that just
to
didn't
connect
happen.
Friday, but you had memoromania or something.
Somebody brought the. I thought I had here. I figured out what happened. For some reason, I had my sound. My phone was right next to me, but I had the sound turned off.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Well, the other thing you might have done is just say, geez, I haven't heard anything. Maybe I'll call them.
I did, but it was 1:23 when I did that.
And that's when we were in the mid. I couldn't answer the phone because we were winding down Garage Logic.
Okay, yeah, that was.
To answer your question, Joe, this is just a post, but MLB has announced plans to break ground in Pelham Bay Park in the Bronx to build a to-scale replica of the Polo Grounds, which will host a special event series once a year, similar to the Field of Dreams game, which I know you love, Patrick.
And then what are they going to do with it the rest of the year?
What the hell?
I'm assuming maybe minor leagues, or maybe they'll have.
Why are you pissing away your money doing that? Why don't you help the A's build a new ballpark, for goodness sake?
Hey, we're at the A's tonight.
Yes, we are.
Sacktown.
And don't be calling them Oakland. They're the Athletics. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if my guy Mickey's still their traveling secretary. Mickey came there when Billy was hired.
Really?
Yeah, he and Mickey were. Mickey's like Billy's last of the Mickey guys. I mean, the Billy guys.
Really?
You mentioned the Timberwolves, and no, we haven't. They lost, what, Thursday night?
Thursday night, yes.
Thursday night.
And now all the postscripts have been they need 2 things. What are those 2 things? I don't know what that is.
Well, they need a.
What do they need to win the
They
title?
need a point guard.
Yep.
Because Connolly was exposed as a 38-year-old who can't play. And I think they need a better shooter. But this idea that they might go giving Kevin Durant is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He's making $53 million.
And he's going to be 38.
He plays 40 minutes, he misses 40 games a year. And you would go, it would put you in a payroll apron that hasn't even been invented yet.
Right.
It's not.
Well,
going to
who's
happen.
bringing this up?
Oh, somebody could do. Brian Windhorst, who's a ESPN guy who covered LeBron in high school and followed those coattails all the way to the NBA.
Boy, that should have happened to you with Caitlin. See, you should have been.
I know. I don't know why she forgot me, but she left me behind, that's for sure. I think she's still mad at me because I stepped on her cell phone. Maybe that's why. That's why.
You say they need a shooter. Who can't shoot? Edwards, I didn't think was that great during
No, he wasn't. He was terrible the last game. But you look at that Oklahoma City, and you say, okay, we ain't going to beat them for 3-4 years. They are $11 million under the main salary cap, 26th in the league in payroll, and the second youngest team in the league, and they are good.
And they have about 58 draft picks.
13,
who put them together?
A guy named
Sam Presti.
Sam Presti. He was there when they were good, and then he said, okay, we aren't good enough, and he blew it up and got traded some good players for draft picks and put this thing back together, and all his drafting has been fantastic. So, but they have. Here's my favorite thing though, and I was talking to somebody today. Fitch is saying, well, we have to get deeper. We have to go more than 8 deep this year, as though someone else was only playing 8 guys. Fitchy, that was you. That was you that only played 8 guys. The season started in October 20th. On November 1st, people were saying, why aren't they using any of these younger guys? Why aren't they
This
using
guy
them?
from Illinois might be a player.
Oh, yeah. He
he's a
puts
good
his
player.
head down and goes.
Shannon?
No, he's 2 years older than Anthony Edwards. However.
Isn't that something?
He was a 5-year college guy.
Plus, they
What's
got
his
the
name? Shannon?
Terrence Shannon.
Terrence Shannon.
Sharon. And he was at Illinois. He transferred 2 or 3 times, but
Okay.
he was at he won the Big Ten tournament here last 2 Marches ago in the Big Ten tournament at Target Center. He was fantastic.
And they got the other kid they got from Kentucky, the Dillingham kid, who could be the point guard. But
God, he's short. Who's he going to guard
yeah, that's a problem.
when you're playing that team? Who's he going to guard? But they drafted him 8th, so they must think he can play. But they got to start playing him. So anyway, it was.
And I think the Rudy experiment has been successful,
you're
but
stuck with him. You got it 2 more years.
Is that what it is? It's 2 more? Okay.
Yeah, because to lower his cap last year, they gave him an extension at less money. So I think he's making $25 a year or something. So less.
He took
money.
a pay cut, Joe, at 25
took
per.
a pay cut to go to 25. Yeah, I think you know what? I think the effort they expend, for the most part, is pretty admirable, considering the amount of money they're all making.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Although, what are you going to do? How many technicals would you call when guys go like this?
Oh my God.
When they want,
Something to be reviewed.
Somebody drives for the basket. They jump up, they put their arms around their neck, try to strangle them, and then when they called for a foul, they go, review it. I didn't do a thing.
I remember it had to have been the Knicks and Pacers game, and I can't remember because I overheard it, but someone was doing that, one of the players,
Yeah.
and that coach said, we don't have a review anymore. He said something that I can't remember if it was Carlisle or Tibbs. I can't remember.
We're out.
We've used our review already or whatever.
Should the Knicks have beaten Indianapolis?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe because the first game that they lost was the worst loss in history. They were the first team in NBA history to lose with a 14-point lead with 2 minutes to go or something
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That
But
was a choke job.
Did you see the shot that took them into overtime?
No.
So
Halliburton.
They're going to hang on. They're 2 points ahead.
Is he the one whose old man got kicked out of the building?
Yeah, right. For taunting Giannis, but and then the kid's giving the choke sign to the Knicks the next game, but he takes a 3-pointer,
Yep.
and Knicks are gonna win by 2. Hits the back of the rim, goes like 12 feet in the air, and comes down and goes in.
Oh, man.
And then they make it a 2. Then they said it was a 2.
Yep.
But to me, that's Tibbs' career. That's Tibbs' career. This is his big chance. And the ball goes boing and comes down. It was fantastic. Meanwhile, what's our view of the Twins? There's not many runs being scored in baseball right
boy,
now.
they can pitch, man.
Kansas City and Detroit just had a weekend series in which I think the scores were 2-1, 1-0, 1-0.
Wow.
Scooble
In Detroit?
in Kansas City. Scooble on Saturday, after his incredible 9-inning game, 7 innings, scoreless, 3 hits, bunch of strikeouts, and they ended up losing 1-0.
Are they going to be able to keep him?
Well, I think they got him I think it's only his 3rd year or something. So
I thought he was older than that.
Well, he is. He didn't break in until later, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Boy, he's good.
Oh, God, he's fantastic. It's unbelievable. A lefty, too. Oof. Of course, we wouldn't want him because we don't want lefties.
No, we don't like
We don't
those.
like lefties.
No, we don't.
Wait, what does Cody Funderburg have to do to get sent to the minors? He's, about every other game he gives up 8.
Yes.
And he's still there. He's still the only lefty.
Is he?
in column.
He is the only one on the staff, right? Currently?
Kalum is out with a
He's hurt.
bad
Okay.
arm or something, but they don't have any lefties. I told Falvey, I said, you're going to have a class action suit from left-handers of America. You don't have any of them, for goodness sake. So
I'm trying to see when our guy Scooble is going to be a free agent, and I can't see it here on the old baseball reference page.
I just don't like
how much for?
He's a free agent in 2027, so you were right. They got him for a couple more years.
Okay, yeah.
What were you going to say, Joe?
I want to be interested in Edmonton and Florida for the Cup, but
Come on, Edmund.
I want Edmonton to win.
It is amazing
So late
that
in the year.
America is rooting for Edmonton to beat the Panthers because we'd rather take Canada, which could be the 51st state any day now, but rather than another team from Florida.
Florida has 3 cups.
Four.
Four.
3 for Tampa. 1 for Florida.
Yeah.
And if they win, that'll be 5 cups, but it's like 5 cups in the past decade.
Yep.
And Carolina has a cup.
Yep.
And we ain't got a cup.
See, if
we
you
don't.
were no longer on, if you were still on Twitter, you could say Florida, the state of hockey.
Yeah, that's right. I can say that in blue sky, but nobody will get it.
But it's yeah.
I don't know. I'm just too lazy to go back, really. I don't know. This would be a good week to go back.
Well, you did say to hell with them, and you usually mean it when you say to hell with them.
I don't think you should go back.
You could go back and say, boy, I hear that Champlain Park's got a hell of a softball pitcher. And just let them go. Just let the trumpeters go crazy. I think you could say that. It is amazing because nobody at the paper where I allegedly work as a part-timer paid any attention to the crapola that I threw out there that you couldn't get any of it in the paper. But it was fun. I had my run, Hey, did I see that Julio Ojeda Zapata is still an editor, a big editor at your place?
I did not know that.
Did
you see it?
I saw a release on something that ended up.
How would you know?
It was something ended up in my email.
Yeah.
And there were 3 editors that signed it, and one of them was Julio Ojeda Zapata.
Well, then he's with your paper.
No. The Pioneer Press ended up with me for some reason because I follow it,
What are you talking about?
The Pioneer Press had some email about, I think, a bargain that you're
they're trying to recruit you as a
subscriber, and one of the editors signing it was Julio Ojeda Zapata, who basically was my number one guest the one year that we had the morning show because Twitter was just emerging and he was trying to explain it to us.
I used him to try to explain it too, and I still didn't get it.
What the hell are you talking about, Julio? Then I started trying it. I remember on the flip phone trying it, and it took like 12 minutes to do one, and then half of them didn't go through. So, but Julio I'm glad to see Julio still there. Because Julio, nice guy, humorless. You'd throw a dig out there and it'd go. It was like a fastball from the young lady from Champlain Park. Whoosh, go right
I haven't
by
seen a byline by him lately, so it must mean he's an editor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did I say this? I heard a rumor that we might be having buyouts.
I think you said that earlier. Slick.
I heard a rumor. Yeah, there's some candidates. One of our guys has now have a grandchild. I'm not going to name him, but his preoccupation with this you'd think the kid was born in a manger. The way it's a grandkid. Hell, you got 10 of them, right?
11.
11. Yeah. Okay. How often do you have to go? Let's see.
No, I got them all named. I mean, I can name them.
Any of them have the same name? Any of them?
The one kid I used to have, they kind of went the George Foreman route. Mm-hmm. They're all named Joe or
some variety.
Some variety of it,
Mm-hmm.
And they're all named Andrew of some variety of it,
Okay, but that's okay. But the first name is what counts, right? You can't have the same first name.
They got a lot of names.
You don't have any real foghorn names, though. They're pretty basic, right?
Some that in our early days would have caused us to think that's foghornable, only to realize they're not. Mm-hmm. They're real.
Are you ever asked of your opinion before a child is named?
No.
Of course, we changed our mind on names. For instance, when Savannah showed up, we changed our minds.
Perfectly acceptable name.
Yes, right. Yeah.
I do love the random email once around July-ish. What day is the baby walk going to be at the
people
fair?
still want
We
the
don't
baby.
do that anymore.
Right.
Yeah, we ended that.
I know exactly what it was because the last child you did is now 13 years old.
That was
Well,
yours.
I knew it was over when a guy walked up to the first tee. And I was playing golf, and he was about 6'5", and probably a hedge fund billionaire. And he said, "Do you guys name me and the baby one?"
Is that right?
It was the kid it was a rural kid.
Okay,
And
yeah.
you had a lot of fun with rural
Rural
kids.
kids, yeah.
And I can't remember what his name was, but it was Foghornable.
Oh yeah, he was a big lug of a kid,
Yeah.
like 5 or 6. But he was you could tell he was a bleep kicker. Now he's playing at a fine golf course.
No,
Right
he's
at-
gone. I'm sure it's a
No, yeah, you know what?
Woodhill or something.
He's at Minnetonka.
Yeah.
He's next door to Jim Nance.
Yeah, yeah.
And
What the hell happened?
We made fun of him. Well, what the hell? I think somewhere still out in the fairgrounds is the runner-up baby carriage that nobody would claim it because it only had 3 wheels or 2 wheels or something like that. God, that was fun.
I'll see you.
That was fun. All right.
Well, you wanna sell us a car?
I do want to sell us a car. What a gorgeous day it was today.
Royce walk?
Drive the, top down all the way, and the River Road all the way in from Bloomington because I had to go to the bank. I went to the bank today, Joe, in the convertible. It was fantastic.
Why Bloomington? There's banks near you.
Because the one I used at the Star Tribune building, which they tore down, ended up out in Bloomington.
Oh.
The building that got tore down to make the big part.
I see.
Anyway, Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers. The SUVs, man, they're fantastic. There's various varieties. I keep seeing them out on the road. Everybody's driving the SUVs. Even some of those people, when I was on the East River Road going 15 miles an hour were driving Buick SUVs. Speed up a little. Those SUVs will go faster than that. So anyway, Jim Paul, Brett Paul, look up the inventory at the Valley Group of GM Dealers website. You'll be stunned. Also, low interest rates and big factory rebates and a great financial team out there in Apple Valley to help you make sure that you can get the deal done. Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM Dealers in Apple Valley.
Hey, local business owners, do you want to get your name in front of the GL network of podcasts? You know, Garage Logic, The Weekly Scramble, Krabby Coffee Shop, Monday Night Sports Talk, and Mishki? Well, guess what? We're hosting a summer online auction in a couple of weeks, and it's the perfect way for you to get involved. Just provide a product, service, or gift card, and we'll put it up for auction to our listeners and viewers. If your item sells, you'll receive trade advertising equal to the full retail value of what was sold. That means more exposure for your business without spending a dime out of pocket. Just trading items for advertising. It's easy, it's fun, and it's a win-win for everyone. To get more information, visit GarageLogic.com before Friday, June 6th, and enter keyword partner and submit the form, and we'll get back to you. Again, don't miss out. Garage Logic, Scramble, Krabby Coffee Shop, and the online summer auction today.